Hey, everybody. Happy Wednesday, January. What day is it? 13th. Ooh, Wednesday the 13th. If you're superstitious, which I am not. It's not Friday the 13th. So, hope you are all doing well today. Have a thumbs up. If you're here, please say hello. I'd love to chat with you. I hope you're all having a great day. It's a beautiful day in Kansas City. I think it's like in the 50s. I have one of my little grandbabies with me today, so we might wander outside for a little bit just to enjoy some sun and get some vitamin D. Hi, Stacy. How are you? Hi, Carol. Oh, I hope your friend can watch as well. That would be awesome. Thanks for spreading the word. We're going to make two cards. I had planned on making one, and then it was so much fun, and I had another idea. So we're going to make um, things, two cards using the same supplies, pretty much the same card, but just a little different. So, hi Chris, how are you doing, everybody? I'm gonna flip the camera around. Hi Donna. It's very chilly and breezy. Hi Mom. Yeah, Bruce took Jordan out for a little bit with the dogs, and they came in and said it was cold. So but the sun wasn't out, and now I'm noticing out my window that it is. So um, I always like to get out a little bit, and I right before I came on, my camera went wackadoo. I tipped it over, so that's always good when that happens. And for some reason, it's kind of zoomed in. I wonder if I can fix that. Y'all, it would be really nice if I'd learn how to use my equipment, wouldn't it? Oh, goodness. No, that's not it. No, that's not it. I can bring people on and we can interview them, but I'm trying to we'll just work on the big area. You'll be able to see better. We are using the stamp set on page 12 of the Spring Mini catalog. I do not have the dies yet, but they have this beautiful die, so I definitely need to order the dies. Um, and I had won the stamp set at a Stampin' Up event way a long time ago. So, and then when the became available, they weren't available. So, but now they're available, if that makes sense. So we're going to use, I'm just going to use the Be My Valentine sentiment from that stamp set. We're not using a whole thing, but I can't wait to get this beautiful die. So I need to get an order placed. And just a reminder that any order of $50 or more in every $50 increment, you can earn a free item out of the celebration brochure. So keep that in mind. Um, Here's the cards. They're kind of like the conversation hearts. And we're going to do some stenciling. Have to take my grandson to tennis in a few. Hi, Betty. Betty will be here for a few minutes and has to take her grandson to tennis. That sounds fun. Hi, Letha. So on this one, I used some masking, so it looks like the little hearts are kind of on top of each other. And on this one, I didn't use the masking. I just kind of did some free flow blending. So let's do this one first. I am also using the punches. These are out of actually I'm just using the one punch. These are out of the annual catalog. They are called Heart Punch Pack. You get both of these. You get the scallop and the same. These you'll have forever. They do coordinate with the Heartfelt stamp set that is also in the annual catalog. And when you purchase them together, you save 10%, which it's always nice to have the coordinating because it'll punch these images out really nicely for you. And I think if you get the bundle, you're only like $5 away from a free celebration item. So you could grab some adhesive or something with that. And if I can help you place an order, I would be happy to do that. So what we're going to do, I'm going to use this one. I didn't want to use the scalloped one. And I'm using just a scrap of thick, it's basic white thick cardstock. And I'm going to reach as far as I can and punch the heart out. And this is going to be my stencil. We're also going to do some heat embossing today too, so that'll be fun. And then I've just got a piece of 3 3/4 by 5. This is going to be my stamped layer. Hi, Connie. How are you? And then I picked 3 fun colors that I thought kind of looked like conversation heart colors. Hi, Michelle Gomez. The weather here is pretty spring-like. How's the weather there? We probably don't want to know. It's probably too nice. Michelle is a Southern California girl to everybody who knows her. And she spends a lot of time at the beach. Okay, so I'm using Mango Melody, Coastal Cabana, Flirty Flamingo, and Granny Apple Green for my hearts. Then I've already punched out my little stencil. And I am going to use a piece of scrap paper. And then it helps me to just, so this doesn't slip while I'm using the stencil. I'm going to just use some purple tape, stickable tape, whatever you want to call it, to hold my my little piece of cardstock down. Carol says it's cold, damp, and overcast there. Well, that kind of was our week last week, I think. Okay, and I'm also using the new blending brushes. Ta-da! And I am not being real careful with my blending brushes. I know some people are very kind of frantic about keeping them in the same colors and all that. But I find that once you kind of rub all the ink off, you can reuse them. So I'm kind of like doing maybe a subtle brush and a vivid brush. And you can also wash them, but I probably won't be too anal about that. See, I've been using them all morning and there's hardly any ink on them because you can just rub it all off. You got 6 of them, Michelle? Yeah, I'll probably order some more because I'm thinking maybe a couple for each color family. That would be good to have. Okay, so I'm starting with the Granny Apple Green, and I'm just going to get my brush loaded up here and just go around my stencil that I made. And you can go as dark or as light as you want, or you can kind of shade and go darker around the edges and lighter in the center. I've got a little girl snucking in here. Did you sneak in here, Jordan?
I'm just trying to find that sailboat. Where that sailboat is.
Come here and say hello, and then Grandpa will help you. Let me see. Let me turn on the camera so you all can say hello to Jordan. Can you say hi?
Hi.
Say hi. Okay, Grandpa will help you.
What do you need?
Jordan goes back to school tomorrow. Whoop, whoop. Okay, then I'm going to take the Flirty Flamingo. I'm just going to kind of go down the card. she is going to have a hard time going back to school because she hasn't been back. She goes to preschool, daycare, preschool, and she hasn't been back since the 23rd of December. It's been a long while. So her mama told me this morning that it's probably going to be a tearful goodbye tomorrow. She has a desk set up in Grandpa's office, so she's playing office right now with him. She's taking care of her business until I'm done here. Okay, now I'm going to take some Coastal Cabana. And do you see how I'm just moving this little punch down the page? If you have any die cuts, you could use those as stencils. I just saw a card on the internet yesterday. I'm not sure where I saw it. I should have written it down so I could give credit where credit's due. But it, hi Kathy. It just reminded me of the little conversation hearts. Okay, now I'm taking Mango Melody. That last color was Coastal Cabana. Mango Melody is kind of an orangish, yellowish, like a mango, like when you open the center of a mango, which is making me hungry. And then I only had 4 colors, so I repeated the Flirty Flamingo because I thought you can't go wrong with a pinkish color for a heart card. So I'm going to just kind of take off some of that Mango Melody on my brush and use this Flirty Flamingo and put my 5th heart on here. Bruce introduced Jordan to Tom and Jerry this morning. She was mesmerized by the cartoon. I don't know where he found it. He found it on his phone. Okay, there's that one. So let's go ahead and do our stenciling on the second card. Isn't that cute? And then we'll add our sequins and our sentiment later. But while we got all this out here, let's go ahead and work on this one. And this one I use masking. This one, the hearts are just kind of overlapping and it looks just fine. This one I went ahead and used a little mask, which I just used masking paper because I had some, but I have used just plain copy paper. I punched a couple hearts out of this masking paper. You could also use, what am I thinking of? Post-it note. Just anything that you can cover stuff up with. So once again, I'm going to take a piece of 3 3/4 by 5 for these little hearts. And it just helps me to hold this still, steady. And then these hearts, I just kind of went kind of whimsy with them. These are more in a line, falling down the page. And these I just kind of went crazy. So I'm going to take that same stencil. Hi, Mary Gunn. Y'all, Mary Gunn Fun does something on Fridays, every Friday at 6:30, right, Mary? She has Craft Roulette. It's Craft Roulette Live. And I'm going to be a guest crafter in a couple of Fridays. So I'll talk more about that when I get closer, but I'm excited about that. And y'all need to tune in and watch it because it is very fun. on New Year's Day, it was a Friday, she had 3 gals, and they had kind of a Super Bowl of crafting. But she gives you some parameters. There's a wheel, a roulette wheel, and it gives you the parameters. And I'm on the 29th. Okay, y'all need to see why I got to pay attention to what I'm doing. My stencil's shifted, but I think we're okay. I will be on her show the 29th. But now that I've seen some of these other guest crafters, and they're just so fabulous. I know why I'm shifting. My tape has left. My tape has left the building. Okay, that was the Flirty Flamingo. Now I'm going to grab the Coastal Cabana, and I'm going to put my mask on this heart. And like I said, I just punched it out from this masking paper. You could just use a piece of scrap paper too. The craft bowl was awesome. Donna Pollock, that is an awesome idea. Full adhesive Post-it notes to use for your masking sheets. That's great. And Letha, go give a good massage. We'll miss you. We'll see you on the replay. Darn having to work, right? Letha is a massage therapist, y'all. Somebody's going to get all relaxed. Okay, now I'm taking the Coastal Cabana, which I think is this brush. Don't they look like little conversation hearts? And then I'll show you the stamp set I took the little sentiments from that really helped make them look like conversation hearts. Does anybody like conversation hearts? They're so cute, but they're so chalky and not very good. Do you guys like them? They just say Valentine's Day to me, but they don't taste very good. Okay, now I'm going to take the Mango Melody. And I think I was using this brush will work. Like I said, I'm not real picky about it. I don't think I'm muddling my inks. I probably wouldn't want to take like a Pacific Point and go right on top of a So Saffron or a one of my subtle colors. On the blending brushes. Okay, now I can take this off and move it down here. And I'm going to do the Granny Apple Green. Once we get all of this done, the card is going to go together really quickly. It's a pretty simple card. And I did layers, but you wouldn't even have to do layers. You could just use a Whisper White card base or a basic white card base and just do your hearts on that. But I just wanted to pull some of that ink color out, and so I added an extra layer. Okay, I'm going to do one more heart down here on the bottom. So I'm going to move this down here. And that one is the Flirty Flamingo. Again. Oops. That is why I like to tape mine down. My tape isn't holding very well because I don't want it to shift on me. Thank you, Kathy. I like to layer things. I like dimension. It's hard for me to do simple. So then you could just keep this somewhere, have a stencil box, and use it, you know, forever. I did use the thick, basic white thick, so it's a little thicker than our normal basic white. It's basic white thick, so it's a heavier weight paper. I'm going to close up these inks so we don't get it all over. Okay, that's so cute. See how they're like laying on top of each other, whereas these are just a subtle difference, not a big deal, but I wanted to show you guys a different way to do it. Okay, now we're going to heat emboss. And I'll put these over here. It's kind of hard. I've got to figure out why my camera is close, but at least you can see me working well. These also you could save. You could put these in a stamp case or somewhere and use them for several times before they lose their sticky. So I will save those. We are going to do a Be My Valentine on a piece of basic black cardstock. This is 3 3/4 by 5/8, and we are going to do our little conversation heart sentiments on right on the heart here. And I took those from, this is from the annual catalog as well. It's the Field of Flowers, and the Love, Believe, My Friend, In My Heart. I just thought those would work really well, and I like the font. It looks like a conversation heart font. So we're going to take my anti-static tool and just, let's do this one first. And get rid of any static. And then I'm going to take some Versamark ink. And I'm also going to use that scratch paper to catch my embossing powder. So I've got these tiny little sentiments. And I liked that In My Heart. I wanted to use it once and put it right here, kind of in the center of the card. And then the other ones I didn't really care about. So we'll just put Believe up here. And Love. And My Friend. And we'll put Love down here. Because we've got 5 hearts. Okay, now I'm going to dump some white embossing powder. It's probably overkill. And then I'm going to take my little paintbrush thing. I just used it. Now I can't find it. Oh, here it is. Sorry about that, guys. I'm trying, there we go, to put myself in the corner. I'm just getting the excess embossing powder off of here. Kind of went cray cray. It's kind of sticking to the ink. I wonder if the ink wasn't quite dry. I'm not too concerned because it'll just look like the powdered sugar, right? Okay, while we got that, let's do our little black strip. And this is the sentiment from the Always in My Heart set, the Be My Valentine. That is from the Spring Mini catalog. This will be up on my blog later, theplaidpoodle.com, and you'll be able to see all the supplies I used there, or you can go to my YouTube channel later today and it'll be up there with a list of all the supplies I used, if you're curious. Okay, let's get rid of all this before we have a mess. And I apologize for the noise, the heat tool. Okay, that one's done. I think I really screwed up on my Believe. I might have wiped it off when I was using my brush. That's okay. I have an idea to fix that. See, I got carried away with my Believe, doggone it. But we'll make a little tag right there and cover that up. Let's do that. Let's do that right now. Let's see if I have some black. Here we go. Or it could just be one of... Can you all see that? I hope you can. Adobe wants to install an update. We could just pretend it's one of those candies that got, you know, some of them are a little damaged. It's a damaged candy. We're just going to use my Be My Valentine again. And cover that up. What do they say? There's no mistakes. There's just new opportunities. Or there we go. Okay. So let's heat this one up real fast, and we can put our cards together. Alrighty. If I was gutsy, I would just cut that with some scissors, but I'm not very gutsy, so I'm going to use my trimmer. I have a hard time cutting a straight line. Isn't that weird? I think I'll just leave it, and I think I'm going to flag this one. Okay, here's our two cards. Now some of them are off the page. We've got this camera situation going on here. Maybe if I do it like that. Can you guys see? Probably not because there's my head. There we go. Okay, I've got my 2 card bases. This one I'm using the Flirty Flamingo for my layer, my first layer. There are no mistakes in crafting. Yes, Carol. Thank you. You just put a sequin over it or a tag. That's what we're going to do. We're going to put a tag over it. Okay, and then my other layer is Coastal Cabana. This is one of my favorite Stampin' Up! Colors. Coastal Cabana. These layers are 5 1/4 by 4. Both of these layers. I'm just going to get these out of the way. Okay, and then we're going to add our stenciled layers. And then we've got our 2 tags. This tag, I'm going to use the Pick a Punch, Lovely Labels Pick a Punch, and punch the ends on. I like to turn it over to make sure I've centered it when I punch, especially when I'm punching a smaller piece of cardstock. I like to make sure it's right there in the center. Okay, so that one's going to go on here. Hi, Debbie, with some Stampin' Dimensionals. And I'm just going to stick it right here. I think it looks good right here. This one I had more over to the right, but I like this one a little bit more over to the left. Kind of south of center there. So then we'll just add our sequins here in a sec. And this one I'm just going to flag, and we're going to put it right over that believe that I messed up when I was trying to get rid of the extra embossing powder. So I'm just going to, this is how I like to flag. You guys probably know this trick. Go up from the center and then meet that from the edges, the corners, to flag your end. Hope I wasn't out of camera when I did that. And I'm just going to put it right there with some adhesive to cover up my mistake. That cute? That worked out. Okay, then we're going to add our sequins. I just used some retired sequins. I had some iridescent sequins that I thought looked really good with these colors. And on this one, I'll probably do something a little different than my sample because I've got that tag now. Oh, Donna, I don't believe that. And thank you, Carol. But that's what you do when you mess up. You cover it with something. So since I added the tag, I don't know that I need as many sequins as I used. I think I'll put 3 here and maybe a couple somewhere else. This feels so awkward putting sequins on. I like to use the liquid glue for some reason. I like it better than the fine tip glue. I know the fine tip glue might be easier, but I don't find it to be the case. So I like to use the multi-purpose liquid glue. It just works easier for me. And this little putty add-on for the You Pick tool is very helpful for sequins. So I don't know, maybe a couple right here. Maybe I will put on a bunch. I don't know. Probably will put 3 up here. I hope you guys can't hear that Tom and Jerry. Jordan has her desk set up in Grandpa's office. He got her a little table and she's working today too. So, I don't know how they got into Tom and Jerry, but she's watching it on his phone. I hope we're not scarring her for life. I don't think their cartoons these days are as violent as our cartoons were. Okay, I think I got that on there. There we go. Isn't that cute? Okay. And then this one, how did I do that? I just did several of those. I'm sorry, this is probably really redundant watching me put sequins on here. It's like watching paint dry. But I wanted you to see the final card. I feel like that game Operation. Remember that game Operation? To get everything right without touching? It keeps sticking. There we go. Oh, Kathy, no problem. The card is an 8.5 by 5.5, and it's scored at 4 1/4 and folded in half to make the card base. And then the first layer is 5 1/4 by 4, the colored cardstock. And then the stenciled piece of white paper is 3 3/4 by 5. So I've went in 1/4 of an inch on each layer. Yeah, no, please feel free to ask questions. And like I said, I will have all that stuff up on my blog later. I don't know how much later though, because I've got a little girl in the other room that I promised we would do something when I got done. So it might be much later, like maybe tomorrow, but yeah. Might be something I work on while I tune into Fun University. I don't know, Mary, if you're still on. I sure enjoy listening to you in the evenings. There we go. Maybe a couple right there. What do y'all think? Yes, they are. And my mom says they're not always going to want to come to Grandma's house. So I want to make sure that I spend time with them while they think coming over here is a treat. There we go. I think that looks good. Sorry about that. That seemed like it took forever. Okay, so here's our 2 cards. They're so fun. I kind of almost like that one with the tag better anyway. What do y'all think? That's awesome. 11 and 13 and they still love coming there. That's awesome. I think Grandma and Grandpa's are important as well. I think we can really have a special relationship with our kiddos. Alrighty. Any questions? Any more questions? Kathy Smith, I don't know. You came in late. I just used a heart punch to make that stencil. I don't know if you got here in time to see the stencil, but that's how I made my stencil. If you had a die cut or anything like that, that would work too. So, yeah, I really like this better with the tag. I'm kind of glad that happened. It just adds a little something. Anyway. You guys have a great day. We will see you next Monday for Make It Monday, 2 p.m. Central Time. And in the meantime, happy stamping. We'll talk soon. Bye-bye.